Clash Royale has been around for about 8 years, and in those 8 years we've had some amazing updates that the community both loved and cherished. But we've also had some less exciting updates. Throughout all those years and updates, we've also had quite some glitches and bugs. Today I'm going to be talking about some of my personal favorite glitches and bugs, from fun, harmless glitches that had minor impact on the game, shout out Grats, to some of the most game-breaking glitches in Clash Royale history. I'll be doing this in chronological order, and so we'll be starting off in 2016. A time where legendaries were actually legendary, the Prince was a rare card, and the shop didn't look like this. 2016 Clash Royale truly was a completely different game from the one we know today. This first glitch is one that I'm sure most OGs and veterans will remember. The Inferno tower on the enemy side. I'm making this really dramatic, but to be honest, this is one of the earliest and most harmless glitches in Clash Royale. For this glitch, you would need 4 components: the Inferno tower, the Elixir collector, the mirror, and an inactive opponent. To achieve this glitch, you would need to keep stacking Elixir collectors by cycling cheap cards such as the Zap and Skeletons. Then, when it hits double Elixir, you fill up your side with Elixir collectors until there is no space left to place a building. Then you wait for an Elixir collector to break and free up a spot for your Inferno tower. You put your Inferno tower down, and then instantly mirror it. There will be no place left on your side of the arena for the mirrored Inferno tower, so the game panics and places it on the top left corner of the arena, where it can now burn down the enemy tower. This was obviously unachievable in an actual match, and therefore it's a harmless fun glitch you could try out with your friends. Next up, we have the King. Guys, can we stop making these comments? I don't like kids. I really don't. Anyway, back to the video. I don't like him. Anyway, next up we have the King Tower glitch. This glitch is one that I've had happen to myself back in the day. The moment you would queue into a match, the King Towers would be activated and deactivated over and over. Placing a card into the arena was also very laggy. There's also a second version of this glitch. In this version, the King Towers don't get activated and deactivated, but for some reason you and your opponent switch King Towers. I have no clue what activates this glitch, but it was definitely game breaking considering the entire match was just unplayable. Then up next we have the Bandit Dash glitch. This next glitch involves 2 legendary cards, the Mega Knight and the Bandit. After taking one of the Princess Towers, if you have your Mega Knight jump onto the King Tower and a Bandit right behind, then the Bandit will dash onto the King Tower and get stuck by the Mega Knight. After getting stuck, the Bandit will dash to the tower again. This made for an infinite string of Bandit dashes, which was way too strong. This is one of my personal favorite glitches, and that probably has to do with me abusing it back in the day. Up next, we have the Teleportation Glitch. This glitch could be done with numerous cards. If not done on purpose, it was quite rare to happen in a match. Though if you were trying to do this, then you would need a card that could take knockback. Think of Mini P.E.K.K.A, Knight, Lumberjack. You would also need a Golem, a building to keep the Golem in place, a Tornado, and finally the Clone spell. So, how does this work? First, the enemy player would need to put down a Golem near the river. This Golem would then need to be held in place by a building. Once that is done, you can put your Mini P.E.K.K.A down and use a Tornado on the Golem to push your Mini P.E.K.K.A onto the river. All that's left to do now is clone your Mini P.E.K.K.A so it moves to the left and wait for the Golem to explode and push your Mini P.E.K.K.A out of bounds. The Mini P.E.K.K.A won't have anywhere to go, and the game decides that sending it to the top right corner is the best option. Now here's a way to do it with the P.E.K.K.A. Get 2 P.E.K.K.As fighting each other. Use a Tornado to pull it into the river, clone to move the P.E.K.K.A, and then finally use a log to push it out of bounds. This glitch is patched, and even if it wasn't patched, the clone no longer pushes a unit left or right. The clone now spawns behind the real unit. This next glitch made the cannon card invisible. Now for a troop to go invisible, you'd expect a pretty complicated setup like the previous glitch. But for this glitch, you only really needed one thing: the cannon card. It really was that simple. All the cannon card needed to do was get destroyed on the enemy side, and for whatever reason, it would be invisible to the Princess Tower and simply be left alone. During this time, it could still keep firing cannonballs onto the tower. I'm not really sure what caused the cannon card to be invisible to the Princess Tower, but it definitely was very frustrating for whoever had to deal with it. Now I know I said these glitches would be my personal favorites, but this next one I have a personal vendetta with. We all know the touchdown game mode, right? It's fun, it's different, you can play with a friend. What's not to like about it? Well, I'll tell you what's not to like about it. So what happened to me, and many others, was that you would randomly just lose your match. It was that simple. You would just randomly lose. I was so confused and frustrated, like I queued into a match and I instantly lost. It didn't just happen once to me either. I had it happen numerous times. Even when I was winning, I would just suddenly lose. As you can see in this clip, they score a point and earn a crown. They emote to celebrate and then they suddenly lose. I have absolutely no idea what made this glitch happen, but I'm guessing people somehow got queued into 2 matches at the same time or something like that. Going into replay mode would also show a completely different game from the one you just played. It made no sense.
Rage! Boom, baby! That's a 3 crumb! And then we rage on all of that.
Now let's talk about a real game-breaking glitch. This glitch allowed you to place any air card wherever you'd like. It required you to have the mirror, a spell like Rage or Snowball, and any air troop. First you play your Rage spell, then you hover your mirrored Rage on the arena, and as you keep hovering your mirrored Rage, you play your air card. Then afterwards you can play your hovered Rage, and instead of a Rage, the air card will appear. This glitch is definitely one of the most game-breaking glitches to have ever been in Clash Royale. The fact that you could play an Inferno, Dragon, or Balloon wherever you'd like was honestly insane. This glitch was luckily patched in an emergency maintenance break, but the damage was already done. In this video, OJ says that it's not really a viable strat.
I don't think it's even that viable of a strategy. Honestly, if he knew what I was doing, he could have just rushed the bridge. This is not viable. This strategy is not viable.
But the players who really abused this glitch didn't use it on the King Tower. Instead, they used it on the Princess Tower, which wasn't just a viable strat, it was basically a free win. Now on to the final glitch of this video. This is one of the most recent glitches and honestly might be one of the, if not the most game-breaking glitch in Clash Royale history. Supercell was excited to try and implement the balance changes without needing maintenance downtime. But unfortunately for them, they unintentionally triggered a bug which resulted in players posting screenshots like these. People were getting dozens of legendaries and champions. There were also players who already had their champions level 14 and so they got a shit ton of wildcards. Some people got 200,000 to 400,000 wildcards from a single chest. And considering Supercell usually charges you $10 for 50,000 wildcards, you already know Supercell wasn't happy with this. This glitch has now obviously been reverted as Supercell would never ever be this generous. This issue is not fully resolved though, because there are still many players of which they removed more cards than they had gained from the glitch. So yeah, those were my favorite glitches from 2016 up to 2024. Let me know down below in the comments if I missed any of your favorite glitches. Thank you guys so much for the massive support. Last video we were on 68 subscribers. We are now currently on 738. I would really appreciate it if you guys could help me hit 1,000 subscribers.